Hey man, just giving you a quick call. I just wanted to let you know that you are so close, dude. You're so much closer than you think. A lot of these big goals that we've had and these big aspirations, they're right around the corner for you, dude. So you just cannot give up. So stoked for you to see this. P.S. We bought a Lambo. So keep going, bro. We'll talk soon. Peace.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Bryson. This is the Bryson Everyday Project podcast. This podcast is a little bit different than other ones out there. Here, I only focus on documentation. I don't focus on quality or being professional or being entertaining. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I'd love for you to stick around and give the show a listen. You can also follow me on Instagram at BRQUSE. Thank you so much. Here's the show. What's going on? First thing I noticed today is I went on to Spotify and looked at my podcast, and I was just looking at all the lengths, how long each episode was. And I would say the last few weeks, they're almost averaging an hour, which is insane to me. And that was never the goal. That was never the vision. I say it all the time, but I mean it. The goal was to record a minute max per episode. Just a quick, hey, did this, had this call, made me feel this way, pretty stoked about this, going to keep working on this. That was the whole idea. And the whole reason for that was so that if they're all a minute, you could, in 1 hour, you could listen to 2 months of the journey, and then you could catch up really quick. That's 60 episodes a day. That's so you could catch up and just get a day to day of how everything was going. That was the whole vision. And it turns out now right now, the podcast would be over 1 minute, If it's 1 minute of me recording, the intro is like 30 seconds, but yeah, that was the whole vision. But now I'm hitting an hour, sometimes 2. I think I had a 3 hour. I think that was the longest one, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 3. That was when I did the calendar. I don't know. And that's just crazy to me. That one episode, it was one day for 3 hours. And ideally that was supposed to be a half of a year that you would listen to. That'd be 180 episodes. So, yeah, just think it's crazy. So that was the first thing I noticed. Every time I was uploading shows, I was like, damn, this is over an hour. Oh, 50 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. So there's that. So today I'm working for Dawson, and I built so we have a recurring business expense tracker, which is straightforward, like put the day of the month it comes out in the amount, and then every month on that day it just calculates the amount being taken out. Very, very simple. But he was like, dude, some of these things, they happen one time. I still want to be able to track them. And I thought, oh, okay, cool. So I made a one-off business expense tracker, which is just one thing. And I made it, I think last week, but the other things that he's wanted me to do have been a higher priority. So today I finally got around to doing it. It's now 12:23 p.m. Started working for him at 8, and I just now finished linking it. And I'm not even kidding when I say, because I talked about it yesterday on the Zoom call with Dawson, if I build something and transfer it and you're good to go, like, hold on, let's do it again. Done. But if I build something for you, you're already using it, and then I build something else that links to that, for me to then set it up and configure everything so that it works together, it took me 4.5 hours to do that. That is the biggest fucking frustration that I face right now. But I was reminding myself today, actually wrote it on my whiteboard. I just put, I guess I can't turn around. I just put the amount of money that I get from Dawson per month and the amount of money that I get from Mina per month. And I chose those two because both those incomes combined would equal the amount of money that I need to survive per month. So it's paying rent, car, groceries, utilities, all that stuff. That's what I need per month to survive. So as long as I have those two, I'm fine. So if PT Down was like, hey, fuck off. If Trey was like, hey, fuck off, it's all good. The reason why I tried to frame it that way is because I feel like I have zero time to do anything. I feel like I have very little time to work on my own stuff. I wake up every morning, I get the first 2.5 hours of my 24-hour day to work on this, which sucks. Could be way worse. I get that. But I just want more time. And it's especially frustrating when 4.5 hours go into just linking something they already built, when if they would, and this is why I have to remind myself of this, if they would just wait a fucking minute and I'll build everything and then give it to them in one shot, then we're good. And I have to remind myself, like I said, that they're providing an income for me to survive, to do this. And so the trade-offs are, I have to do this frustrating, tedious horse shit that doesn't matter to anybody except the one person. I just have to remind myself of that because it's just so frustrating. 4.5 hours to do something that literally will go like this. That I'm not even kidding. Like transfer, move, yes, accept, boom, confirm, yep, set up, boom, done. And that's just so frustrating. So I decided that because I'm waiting, or because Trey is waiting on this business expense tracker, and I said it was a massive project. It is 100%. What I'm going to do, well, first of all, the reason why it's a big project is because it's, I keep calling it the business expense tracker, but it is more like the overall business health KPI hub, mega ultra log. Okay. And I guess just me learning more about what works and what doesn't, I just need to create separate databases for each individual thing. So all things business expenses. So we're talking just the things that the business pays for, and then compare that. Or actually, that's it. Just expenses. Rather, keep that separate from the expenses of employees. Keep that separate from the expenses of, I guess that would be it, huh? Because there's a lot going on in this database of mine. So if I were to click on this, where is it? If I were to click on this, how many properties do I have in here? So there is 100. Can I just show all? Hold on. There's 120 in this one database, and just no good. Just no good. I think why I did it this way is so that everything is in one spot. And I can compare it to graphs, or I can use all the data for graphs. So I can compare anything to anything to anything to anything. But I'll figure that out later. I think I've come to terms with the fact that all the automations and all the graphs and all that stuff, I may just have to outsource because, for one, they're very time consuming. They take up there's a lot that I don't know. Like, that's a whole new realm for me as far as using Make and Zapier and stuff, because I spent essentially all day yesterday. Almost. Kind of half the day trying to figure it out. And so a little update on yesterday, because I know I ended the show kind of stoked that it worked. It doesn't work. It doesn't work the way that I want it to. And I've had to explore different routes, and those routes are just more complex because the easy shit doesn't work. And so even when I Google it, people have the same exact problem. So it's not just me. It's just that the API and how it integrates and what it reads things as, it just doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build everything out so that automations can work. And then I'm probably just going to hire somebody off of Fiverr to build the automations for me, because holy fucking shit, dude. It's so frustrating. And what's even more frustrating is I can't even really rely on AI to help me out, like Grok or Claude or ChatGPT. The shit that they tell me, it's just not accurate and it's not correct. It doesn't work. It'll say, hey, come in here and click this button. And I go in there and that button doesn't exist. So I say, hey, this button doesn't exist. And it says, oh yeah, that's right. Notion doesn't support blah, blah, blah. Try clicking blah, blah, blah instead. And then I go into that, I click on it, and it doesn't work. And I'm like, hey, this doesn't work. And it says, oh, right. That's because you didn't do this and we didn't have this in place. Let's do this. So then I go back to the thing that it told me to. I go in there, I fix everything. It works. And then the whole outcome is, oh, that's right. Notion can't calculate, or Make can't calculate based on this because it's a string value, not a numeric value. Turns out you can't do it. It's like, why'd you put me through all that shit to just tell me no? And it's just, oh my, so frustrating. I actually woke up this morning to give it another go, and I just realized halfway through, I actually used Grok today. I realized halfway through the shit that it was telling me, I'm like, this is not going to work at all, because it doesn't make sense at all. Sure as shit. Hold on, what the fuck is that? I don't know if those are sirens or if my fan is about to explode. Whatever. I even woke up this morning and I was trying to figure it out and used Grok, realized halfway through it's not going to work. Sure as shit, didn't work. Excellent. So I went onto Fiverr, looked around at the prices, and truthfully speaking, I don't even give a fuck if it's $500 for them. I don't give a fuck. I just, because that's the bread and butter of everything. The automations and the gathering and summing up of data, that is everything. I mean, I have the systems in place that allow you to track stuff, and that's great. And I can do roll-ups and stuff. There's ways. But now that I know a better, more efficient way, and a way that kind of acts as a security blanket for me, I want everything to do with that, you know? So, yeah, what I've decided to do is probably spend the rest of the shift with Dawson just remaking the expense tracker to just be expenses, and that's it. Just expenses, that's it. And then we'll figure out the rest later, because right now it's just getting messy as fuck, and it's just unnecessary. So yeah. So that's what I got for now. I don't know if I'll be back later or not. Probably not, to be honest. But if I am, then you'll hear more. But that's kind of what I've got going on today. And yeah, today's Saturday. Oh, today's Kobe Bryant's birthday. Happy birthday. What's interesting real quick is that his birthday is today, but tomorrow would be his jersey numbers, 824. So if you're just born one day later, that'd be kind of cool. But anyway, happy birthday. Rest in peace. All right. Well, that's it for right now. If I'm back later, then I'm back later. If not, peace.